Dr. Owusu Ochoa is Dr. O for the 804 as the premier knee and hip shoulder sports surgeon in Virginia. I would like to remind you that health equals power. Sports build and uplift communities, nothing else can. The mission of sports medicine is to keep athletes of all ages and levels at the top of their game. Dr. O is located at Ortho, Virginia, Schrader Road office location. Appointments can be scheduled online at orthovirginia.com or by calling 804-939-6688. You can follow Dr. O on Instagram at Dr. O_ for the 804 and uplifting educational content about sports health.
I'm Coach Rick Stockel. I am co-owner of Newman & Dunn Real Estate here in Central Virginia, as well as I am a high school boys basketball coach at Monacan High School. I've sold over 1,300 homes here in Central Virginia, and I would love to work with you and your family in your home buying needs. I am a proud primary sponsor of Ballin in Virginia, and I hope you enjoy this show.
Yeah, man, I appreciate Rick Stockel for sponsoring the show today. He's a great guy, great coach, great realtor here in Virginia. Make sure you give him a call or check out his website over at rickstockel.com if you're looking for any homes in Virginia. Thanks again, and let's get into this episode. Welcome to another episode of BallinVA, and today, for the first time, this is something that I always wanted to do. We are outside of the Morrisette Media Studios, and today I'm happy to have the Glen Allen coaching staff, boys and girls. And today we're going to recap talking about the season. Both teams made it to the state playoffs. Didn't get the results that they wanted, but the future is looking bright over here in Glen Allen, Virginia. So we're going to just go down on the line and let the coaches introduce themselves. And then, well, first, what I would say first, because I always forget to do this, Tim always do this for me. We got to make sure that you guys like, subscribe, and share this content. You know, lights don't stay on. This is not our studio, despite this is Glen Allen, but this is how we keep the lights on, guys. I need you guys to comment. I need you guys to share. I appreciate everybody viewing, but I need you guys to comment. Tell me if you like it, if you don't like it, but please share our comments. Share your comments on our page. First, we want to start with Coach Manton. He's the head boys basketball coach, and I'm going to get you to introduce your assistant, and Coach Brennan will get you to do the same. So, Coach Manton, how you doing, man?
I'm great.
How you doing, everybody? First, how y'all doing?
Everyone's good.
Doing good.
Look, y'all going to be the test dummies today, because this is the first time we ever do this. So introduce Coach Marshall, and then Brennan, you will do the same.
So to the right of me is my head assistant, just Coach Marshall Ramey. He's been with me now for 2 years. I took over the job last year. And then over there, I'm his coach Shepard. This was his first year on board with me, and we're excited to have him on board.
Cool. Well, Coach Brennan, we're going to have to introduce you by yourself. Well, I'm going to introduce him, and then he can tell a little bit about himself. This is Coach Rick Brennan. He's the head basketball coach of the Glen Allen girls basketball team. And let him give a little bit of details of himself, and then we'll go back to Coach Manning.
I'm a little out man tonight with the boys, but my name is Rick Brennan. I've been the head coach here. This is just completed my 8th year. Was at Mills Godwin previously as a JV assistant, and came over here in 2010 with Coach Watson as an assistant. He stepped down, and I took over, and luckily he was my assistant these past 2 years. So I was very fortunate to have him, but I've been at it a long time. I'm a tad older than these guys here, so but enjoy every minute of it. So.
No, man, we will appreciate you guys, accepting. I know Coach Madden, we talked via message in the fall, and you talked about, you being, a good, I can say good, a great supporter of BallinVA, and I was surprised. I was like, man, you just don't ever know who watches, so I definitely appreciate that. Where did it all start for you? I know you mentioned some things where you coach. I'm not going to spill that out, but you mentioned, your start. So where did it start for you, and how did you get to this point?
So when I was in grad school at VCU, and I started at the collegiate school, actually. So I started on the private side first for 3 years, coaching middle school. And I really knew then, I think I never got out of basketball ever since then. So I was 22, 23 years old, and I just got an itch for it. And then my my first job right out of college was I'm at John Rolfe Middle School.
Okay.
And they needed a head boys coach, so I took over, and you know, and that's, you know, it kind of came from the ground up. You know, I'm not really from, you know, I'm not from Richmond, Virginia, so I really had to rub a lot of elbows, you know, to get to where I am now. And then you know, once I bought a house out here in Glen Allen, it was kind of an easy transition when they had a PE opening. And then I came over here. I was an assistant just under Matt McKeag. And then he stepped down, and I stepped in a year ago, and we've had a lot of success, you know, ever since.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Woodbridge, Virginia.
Oh, North Virginia.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I went to Osborne Park.
Okay.
As high school, and you know, and I mean, when I chose, you know, the college to go to, just VCU, and you know, like to stay around here, I was like, it's a lot cheaper to live down here than it is up in Nova. So, you know, I mean, I thought, you know, this would be like just a great, you know, like just basketball-rich environment, you know, to really start my career off.
Well, that's good. And you know me, I'm going to go right into it and just say, hey, man, you know, when you went to John Rolfe, can you let everybody know some of the players that you had come through your program?
Yeah,
we talked about that earlier, but everybody don't know. So
yeah, I've got to shout out, I mean, all those guys. You know, it's one thing, you know, to coach, you know, talent, but it's one thing to coach 5 guys that are Division I talent, you know, in the same time. You know, just starting with Armando, you know, who was under Kawan Rawlings at the time. And Kawan Rawlings, like I learned a lot from him, you know, as a coach. Then he, you know, he stepped away, and he took, you know, he's kind of been an assistant at different places, but just AJ Williams was a 7th grader. You know, Jason Nelson was a 7th grader. I had Tyrese Jenkins for 1 year. I had Kennard Richardson as an 8th grader when he moved into the area. You know, Jordan Hernandez moved in late. He's, you know, he went to VSU. He just committed somewhere. I mean, these guys are continually, you know, like they're all still playing, and they all still have careers. And then Charles Tart. Yep. And I mean, he was probably like one of the bounciest kids in middle school that I had. But it was a strong group. And you know, at 23 years old, you know, I kind of learned how to coach, you know, egos, and that was huge because you know all of them wanted the ball, but all of them could score. And it was a lot of points, and you know, and a lot of teams, you know, like the games were over by halftime. So, but
yeah, that group, yeah. Jeez.
So you're the John Marshall of
right,
middle school.
Right. But I was, but with that group, you know, I was always on my toes. You know, I always, you know, because I walked into the gym and I knew they were coached by Boom, you know, for AAU, and
shout out to Coach Boom.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a big, you know, just advocate of mine. You know, just reaching out to him as well, and like every time I stepped in the gym, I was like, man, I need to have a practice plan because these dudes are gonna, you know, like literally look right through me, you know. So I really learned a lot of my roots, you know, of coaching with that group.
Man, I'm sitting there like, what was the score of them games, man? That's a lot of firepower.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like Armando just, I mean, I know he won't stick sand in, but he was always tall.
Right.
Like, you know, but geez, I'm like, man, that was like of a team. How many championships you went with that group?
We did 2. So we did 2, and then we lost. You know, my first year there, we lost in the in the championship game against Pocahontas, which yeah, I mean, they sat back and ran a 3-2 all night, and we could, and that's when I learned, you know, like, I mean, sometimes like just our shots won't fall, and our shots were not falling that night, and it was a shock. I mean, that gym was packed at John Rolfe, and yeah, I mean, we just couldn't hit anything.
Yeah, man, those Route 5 fans over there, they will let you know when they
will.
That gym.
They will.
You don't do what you're supposed to. We know how Route 5 is, and shout out to Route 5. They doing big things over there. But man, that's where you started. So when you left there from after coaching that group, how long did you stay, and where did you from that point?
So there, I did 1 year. I'm a J.R. Tucker.
Okay.
And I was under just Coach Brott, and I was the head JV coach, and with Coach Ramey, and that's when we started to coach together. We've been friends, like, just, I mean, since college. Like, we've been talking since college about, you know, just running our own program, and we actually turned that program around like year 1. I mean, there was J.R. Tucker, and they've never won, you know, more than 3 games for JV. And we went, what do you go?
8 and 10.
Yeah, 8 and 10, and they were excited. And then Corey brought, he left, and then I got offered a full-time PE job here at Glen Allen, and and I accepted it. Yeah, and then Matt McKext, like he asked me to come on board, and I was under him for 4 years here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before I go any further, I'm gonna just let Coach Marshall go in and give us a little bit about himself and where he started and how he met you.
Yeah, so this started back at VCU when we both transferred in basically around the same time, and from the beginning, I think we clicked. We had the same kind of mentality, what we wanted to do. We were both basketball junkies, and I mean, all we talked about was basketball. So it's kind of crazy, like back then in 2010, I think, we're sitting there talking about, having our own program, and here we are sitting in the exact gym that we get to coach every single day during the season. So that's pretty cool. And I did go on with him at Tucker for that one season, but I bounced around different sports, coaching on the middle school and high school level, until he got the head coaching job, and he was like, "Do you want to come on?" I was like, "Is that even a question?" Yeah, this is what we've been talking about since 2010. So, it's been real fun. People have asked me, like, it's a long season, how do you get through it? I was like, when you're coaching with someone that you've known forever and you've got like minds, it's really not that hard to enjoy what you do each and every day.
And it makes it so much easier. And people always ask me, man, when you going to get back into coaching? Not a chance. Not a chance. And that's why I say I commend you guys, because you got to deal with the good, the bad. When you winning, is everything great. When you lose, it's the coach's fault. It's always the coach's fault. He don't know how to coach, or he ain't do this, whatever. So you got to have some strong assistance with you and everything like that. So, I understand how it is, so I salute you guys, because definitely I have no plans on getting back into that at all, But, Coach, going back to you, when you get here, take the job here, what was your expectations and, just like, how did it go, like starting off? Because I wasn't following the program, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, no. So it was right after COVID, and we were lucky enough to get a JV group that were all seniors, that really played together all through elementary and middle school on the same team. And I was really excited about that group. I didn't know, expectations, this was my, on my 5th year at Glen Allen, and the previous 4 years we were, mediocre. We were trying to get to the regional playoffs and stuff like that, a little bit over 500. And, but I think just every head coach in the county wants to get, to that final game. And, I preached that from day one, and I believed it, and especially with the group that we had. And I think, with right after Summer League, when we, I think when we won, one of the divisions in the Stewart Summer League, I was like, okay, like I can do this, like we can, like we're working with something. So.
Okay, well, yeah, see, everybody knows about that Summer League at Stewart, man, some competitive basketball over there. Coach Shepard, I'm gonna get you in here, man. Give us a little bit of background about yourself, and and how did it fall in with these guys over here? How did it make it work? And just give us a little bit of background.
Well, I'm a Richmond resident. I graduated from Henrico High School, and I graduated from Virginia Union University. I got into coaching because I'm a substitute teacher at I believe it was Albert Hill Middle School. I was an assistant on Albert Hill, and one of our guys was Travis McKay. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, we know Travis McKay. So John Marshall product.
Yeah, so we had Travis all 3 years, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then from there I started basketball coaching from the high school level at Varina. I was an assistant on their girls, and then with the boys JV for 3 years, and then from there I went to Atlee, and then from Atlee went to Patrick Henry Ashland, and so I was there for the last 8 years, and so I met Coach Menton at, was it Rolfe? Rolfe. And then we met up again at Tucker just before he came to Glen Allen. So I saw him again at Summer League at Stewart. And at that point, I was ready to make a move. So, and like I had followed the program and everything. I had always wanted to work with him. So when I saw the article that says Manton, I was like, oh, I'm trying to get over there. I'm trying to get over there. So, you know, timing, things worked out or whatever. And I think we had just played, Patrick Henry, we had just played our game. So I was in the next gym. And I was talking to him and Ramey. And I said, hey, you know, I said, hey, things looking pretty good over there. Y'all got any room over?
That's right. It works the same in coaching, everybody. See, everybody think that people move around teams and stuff. When you're winning, it makes a difference, and that transcends. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
And so, like, and speaking about coaching, I coached total of 3 sports. Okay. Boys volleyball at Patrick Henry, boys basketball here at Glen Allen, and boys soccer at Hanover. Yeah, so, yeah, and about to scale back next year. But anyway, so at Patrick Henry, I'm part of that staff that's won 7 straight state titles in volleyball.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So I told Mint and Ramey, I was like, hey, I got the catalog, man. When I get over there, when I get over there, you know, I got the catalog. Let's go do this. And, you know, so it was just a great experience. I really love and enjoy being here. And when, like, being around Manton and Ramey, man, it's like when we get together, yeah, we'll...
Endless laughs, man.
Yes, endless laugh, man.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, indeed.
You know, and like I always tell people, I was coaching with Coach Gene Atkins at Henrico, was coaching on the AAU side, and you have to have a staff that gets along.
Absolutely.
And everybody has to know their place, of course. And for me, I just felt like that I didn't qualify. But because she coached my son and she knew that I knew the game and I watched her, I just had a role in just for seeing how stuff worked. And I just tell people, man, I enjoyed it, but you have to have it to click. Everybody can't coach together, no matter how great everybody is. You know, so that's good that you guys get along well. Coach Brennan, I'm going to come to you, and then we're going to come back and kind of go into this and recap this season. Sure. Coach Brennan, give us a little bit of background about yourself and just talk about your coaching stops, I should say.
All right. My first stop was at St. Bridget's School, where my kids went to school. My daughter raised her hand up and said, yeah, my dad will coach. So I kind of found out the hard way how that worked.
Kids are so honest, right?
But absolutely. And I had the extreme pleasure of knowing Warren Rutledge at Benedictine. I actually played baseball for him. Okay. So I dialed him up right away and said, Coach, I have no idea what I'm doing. He said, come on over. He spent 2 solid hours with me, just kind of going over things. He said, is your team big, small, quick? I said, I have no idea. They're a bunch of girls. And so it was quite a learning process. You know, at the middle school Catholic League games, it's you play everybody equal amounts, and you're trying to do that, and you spend more time doing that than you do coaching probably. Yep. But you know, I've talked to a lot of coaches who've coached their kids, and it didn't work out for the kids and the coach. I was blessed that all 3 of my kids and I still talk. We still get along, and they still come to my games. So that's a good thing. But from there, my middle daughter played at Godwin High School, and when she moved up to varsity as a sophomore, the JV coach there, Tina Rochelle, got me started there. Okay. I was her assistant for 11 years. And then Dwight Watson came over there and coached a year with the varsity girls. Well, then he got the job here. He called me up. He said, hey, how about joining me over there? So it was tough to leave Godwin. Tina and I had still have a great relationship, but she got me started. But it was a chance for the old guy to start moving up a little bit. So we did that. Was Dwight's assistant for 3 years, and then he stepped down. And then actually he went to Randolph-Macon and worked for 5 years as an assistant coach there. So when he and I talked about a year and a half ago, he's been with me 2 years now. He said he was thinking about getting back in. I said, well, stop the press. You know, how about coming back over here to Glen Allen? And huge. I mean, just a huge difference for our program. I mean, he had the college experience, he had the energy, he had the knowledge. I mean, it was just great. You know, you made a point to say that the coaching is a staff thing, and that's huge. That to me is, you know, my teams have gotten me to the point where the past 2 years I got Coach of the Year for the region. Absolutely, it's a staff award. It is absolutely, positively a staff award. One person can't do it. You know, I enjoy every minute of it with the girls. You know, we've had really good teams over here. We've kind of gone under the radar. Times Dispatch doesn't give us but so much love.
No, they do
not at all.
But we're working on that.
This is why I'm here.
Right.
But we're working on that. And you know, these past 2 years have been really, really special for the program.
Yes, it has. You got my attention last year at Middleton High School, which you guys did to LC Bird, that girls team, which was a really good team. And, you know, like I said, I live in Chesterfield, so I don't get a chance to come over here,
Right.
but to just see. And then I think you guys was in a Monacan tournament over in Monacan, so just to kind of hear it. But this is why I'm here, because we know that the Time Dispatch and the local news medias don't get a chance to get out, or they have to do what's best, I should say, to what's popular, to go to where those schools at. Me, we don't do that here. We go see everybody, right? And that's why I even elected more to do it here, because what you guys, both boys and girls, have done the last couple of years has been remarkable. You guys made the state playoffs, and it really doesn't get talked about, you know? So I'm just like, for one, how does that make y'all feel? Anybody can answer that.
Really good.
Look,
really good.
I know we talked and said we won't start nothing, but you know, but I have to ask that question because, you know, when I talk to those guys on Route 5, you know, I know they're different and they don't mind saying it, but just like, look, I mean, we got to win in order to do that. It's a lot of great talent in this 804 area.
It is.
And it's not always John Marshall. It's not always Trinity or Benedictine or Bird. You know, hey, we got some other teams around here too. You got the Hermitage, you got Glen Allen, you got Henrico. I mean, Henrico's always been doing great, you know, so it's like, come on now, let's spread the love.
I've always said, you know, and I've told him a lot, you know, I feel like, you know, I mean, everyone knows when football season's around for the 804. Right. Everybody knows. Yes, everybody feels
football
it.
Is king.
Everybody feels it. But, you know, once, you know, if we were to play a game right now, you know, I mean, not a lot of people would know about it until like the next day, you know, and I mean, just, you know, getting basketball, you know, really on the map for the 804 is huge. You know, I mean, there just isn't much of like a lot of coverage about it.
It's not.
You know, I mean, granted, I get it. There's a lot of games, you know. I mean, over 22 games is a lot, but you know, not being able to find a score, you know, for 24 hours is, I mean, I think is a problem.
It is a problem. We have to go to Twitter, then you have a lot of these writers and a lot of these, you know, other outlets. They have, you know, these programs that, again, they want to go to where the kid, what's popular.
It's popular, yeah.
I'm just like, you guys are not real sports guys, and some of them can't spell, some of them can't talk, some of them can't do this. I may be throwing a few shots here and there. I don't care, you know, but it's just me. This is me talking. But you're right. I'm just like, you guys got to get out here and do your homework. So for me, I'm just like, you know, no, I'm going to take it up a notch. It's like what you guys did. I know you guys, the goal is to win the state championship. Right. But to make playoffs on consecutive seasons back to back, that has to have some merit somewhere. I don't know, in my book where I came up, you could just stay playoff. That ain't easy. No. That ain't, I don't care what classification you in. Nope. It ain't easy. No. And you guys are right there in Class 5, so let's kind of recap it. I know your season, you lost to Patrick Henry Roanoke, and then you lost to Highland Springs, Coach Madden, in regards to that. But I was at the Highland Springs game both years. Last year at Highland Springs and this year at Midlothian. You know, talk about some of your kids that you got, you know, and in your program. We talked about the staff. Yeah. Talk about some of those young men.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't do it, you know, justice if I didn't bring up, you know, last year's seniors. I think that what really kicked off, you know, just our success was our seniors last year. And a lot of people don't know this, but we beat Highland Springs here by 1 point.
I didn't know that.
Last year in the regular season. And I think after that was when it really started that engine of where we are. You know, Cliff Fuller was our point guard. Yeah. We had Sean McElwain. He's a tight end right now for William and Mary. We had the Brooks brothers. Like there's Eli and Ethan. Yeah. And then Kelvin Choice, and Brendan Coughlin, who has 2 shooting guards on the floor that are 6'5". I mean, it was huge. And that's why I was so excited about last year, because I was like, man, we could make some noise. Right. And in that regional championship game at Highland Springs, when we were up, we came out, we were up 12-0, and I was like, and I said, here we go. And then they went on a 12-0 run, and I knew it was going to be a dogfight, but they were ready for that game, and we weren't nervous, and especially after we beat Freeman, just in that regional, just semifinal game to get the state bid. I knew we were all very confident, about playing Highland Springs again, and that was a heck of a game. And I think like that's when Denzel Coles kind of introduced himself to the world, and because we were so worried about Dorian Davis, and we held him to 0 points until the 4th quarter, and all of a sudden here comes Denzel Coles, and I said, man, I said, we got to worry about this kid too, and then, he is special. And then without that group, like all of our juniors that were sitting on the bench that year was like, man, we could do this next year. And so it kind of, it was a long off season for me, just the way we lost. It kind of left a lot, on the table, and he was kind of making fun of me, but I jumped in everything. I jumped in like a summer league. I jumped in a fall league. I wanted to get right back to it because I didn't know who we had. But this year, all of a sudden Chris Tiller transferred in, from Benedictine. And then, that helps. Yeah, that helped. It helped. And then Jordan Brown, who tore his ACL last November, we didn't have him for that like really special group last year. And if we would have had him, who knows? He's possibly the best rebounder I've ever coached. And God, yeah, if we would have had him, last year, who knows? I think we're dancing in Siegel, but
that's what you're supposed to say.
I'd like to think so.
Right.
No, that's what you're supposed to
say. Right. But yeah, so just adding those two, and then having a 6'7" Chris Dopp, he came back. He got better, every single game as a junior, and then he came back as a captain, and then our point guard. Just Ford Michaelo, and then just adding our, like our freshman phenom, Farron Friend, from Hungry Creek. He's 6'4". He came in, he was kind of moving like Bambi on ice out here for a little bit, But once he got his feet under him, man, he started for us down the stretch, and he was huge in regionals. If it wasn't for him, I don't think, I don't think we get back to states. So.
Man, you guys, that's a great group of young men that you have, because, losing to the eventual state champion, Highland Springs, and that great coaching staff they had over there. Shout out to Coach Tennyson and the coaches over there.
Great coach.
They do a remarkable job. That's not a bad thing. And last year, when you guys went on the road, who did you guys play in the States?
So we played Riverside.
Riverside. Okay.
Yeah, so we played Riverside. It was a three-hour trip. And we left. And so,
I don't even know where we were at.
Right, all the way up in Leesburg, up by Dulles Airport.
Oh, up there by Tyson's Corner and all that stuff. And I ain't never heard of them.
Right, and we walked in that gym 2 hours before the game, and we were real early, and we shouldn't have been that early, but it was a really early arrival, and we couldn't do anything until 30 minutes before the game.
Yeah.
So there was.
Are you serious?
So after a 3-hour trip, we had to get told hey, you guys can't do anything for 2 hours. So we had to wait, and we waited, and then
I see my face.
There's no excuses, right? But 2,000 people, showed up for that game, and it was all Riverside. And like a 3-hour trip, we had maybe our parents section. Yep. It was rough from the jump. It was rough from the jump, and I don't like to say home cooking, but let's just say that was one of the first games I almost got a tech. It was rough. It was a long night.
But did they say why?
It was
30 minutes?
Yeah, it was.
VHSL.
It's a VHSL rule. You can't warm up until 30 minutes.
can I do something real quick? VHSL. Y'all gonna have to do better, okay? I'm not gonna go on a rant like the Coach Radford did, okay? But we gotta do better here. We gotta make some amendments and some changes or something. I mean, does that even make sense? You guys collect all this money, and whatever you guys do, we gotta do better. That don't even make any sense. But I just had to give that rant. You know, I want to go say more, but I'm not gonna do that. This is the coach's time. I'm not gonna do that. But y'all know how I feel about VHSL. Come on now, we gotta do better. But I'm sorry. 30 minutes?
Yep. 30 minutes.
You can't even stretch. You can't even. Okay.
Right. Yeah. But this year, I mean, like the trip, I mean, we kind of knew this year, you know, what to expect.
Going out there
after we lost. Yeah. So after we lost in our regional championship, I'm against Highland Springs again. You know, we kind of knew, all right, we're not leaving till we don't have to leave, you know? So
yeah, you ain't making that same
I'm not doing that again. So, yeah, I mean, and shout out to PH Roanoke. I mean, that might have been one of the best teams that we've played ever since I've been here, you know, on staff. They were just loaded. I mean, and I've never seen, and I did my homework on them. Four of their guards shot 40% from three all year long. And that's wild. Like
those guys can play.
That's incredible. Yeah.
They can play. And they move their feet.
They do.
They don't do a lot of hand checking.
Nope.
You know, it's like, I was like, man, that's why I saw the way they was handling Woodside. I said, Woodside want to get run out the gym.
Right.
So, like I said, so again, that's a remarkable team. I had never heard of them, but again, I followed Matt Hatfield, and he said they was really good.
Yeah.
So I guess the ball just didn't bounce in your guys' direction on that. But how does the future look bright going forward now, since you got two state appearances?
Yeah.
That says a lot. So going forward, you know, what do you have coming back, and what are your chances? And then you guys are going to Division VI, which I'm going to get Coach Brennan's take on that as well. But
yeah, we're young. I mean, we were a young team this year. I mean, I know every coach likes to say they're young, you know, but I mean, we had 5 sophomores, you know, 1 freshman. You know, Chris Tiller was our lone junior on the floor. You know, he's coming back. I mean, he's our leading scorer. You know, first team all region. You know, but I mean, I think our young guys, you know, were like our 6th, 7th, and 8th guys, like literally just the first guys off the bench, and that's huge. And then, you know, it's really nice to have kind of that relationship with Hungry Creek. I mean, there's basketball players at Hungry Creek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we have some size coming in, and I mean, I open the gym every morning like at 7:30, and they're in here, and the young guys love getting in here and love putting in the work. So.
And that's good.
I'm excited
to have that, you know, that relationship and having that what I call pipeline.
Yeah, pipeline.
That come in there. And I think a lot of kids, a lot of schools need to do that, you know. If they're not doing it, they're stupid.
Right.
You know, I'm going to say they're stupid. You know, we hit, you know, we had that off conversation, but anyway. But yeah, that just makes no sense. But yeah, that's good, because you want to be able to get back to the community and let them know that, hey, you know, you give some of these kids to look forward to.
Absolutely.
You know, because like I said, now when it was the mid-2000s up until maybe 2018, the private schools were coming in and swooping and taking. So you thinking, oh, I'm going to get this kid. The next thing you know, he's going to Benedictine, he's going to Trinity, he's going to wherever else, you know, LCA. And that changed now. So it's good to see that schools are actually having coaches that know how to coach. I'll say it. They're actually having, getting great staff members that played basketball, and also just the fact that you're keeping these kids at home, and that's what matters. So you know, that is great. And can we say that we might see our Highland Springs Glen Allen Part 3 regional championship again, since both of y'all guys are going to Division VI?
That's the plan. Listen, I'm getting tired of those.
This time being on the winning side of it.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm getting tired of those guys, but
look at Coach Shepard.
Absolutely.
hey,
time
but
to go to the Siegel Center.
Me and
That's
tennis.
right.
Like me and Tennyson are close, and I mean, I love playing them, and our kids always get up to play them, so it'll be great.
That's good.
We playing for jewelry.
We're playing with jewelry. We need to get some jewelry over here, right?
We playing for jewelry.
That's right. That's right. Coach Brennan.
Yes.
Man, listen. You know where we can start. You know, talk about these young ladies, but you know, I'm not gonna waste no time. You were able to hold up the regional championship last year. Not so much this year. Talk about the season that you guys had.
Coming into this season, we had 4 returning starters, which always helps. Missed a senior guard that is now playing at Roanoke, Claudia Disbro.
Okay.
She was kind of our glue the year before when we won everything. Terrific player, terrific leader, lived everything about basketball. She probably knew more than some of us coaches did about basketball. At least her dad would tell us that. But she went off to Roanoke, so I always look at it, okay, I got to replace 15 points and defense and this. How am I going to do that? So then I took a look at, what our scoring was from the year before, and I found it, I felt. So we started out this year pretty much, the way we thought we would. We had Cosby the second game of the year, which we wanted. We wanted to schedule some Division VI teams to go up against. And we were fortunate to win that game. It was early in the season. Both of us weren't probably as sharp as we hoped to be later on. But
a lot of people low scoring.
But it was good to get that win under our belt. And then we kept going, and it's been something that we've tried to get in as many of the I'll term one-day shootouts or one-day tournaments we can. And we were fortunate enough to go down to the Stat VA tournament this year. And we felt we kind of drew the short straw when we saw the schedule, but because we drew Princess Anne, and we all know Princess Anne, and but we went down and we just said, we got nothing to lose here. All we got to do is play hard and see where it takes us. And I got down there probably too early because I'm up in the stands and I'm thinking about this, thinking about that, and then the kids start flowing in one by one, and they're seeing some other teams. And so we get back in the locker room and we just pretty much laid it out, just say if we play hard and we play smart and we take care of the ball, we're in this game. So we started out pretty well, and we just kept going, and people hit some key shots down the road. Our starters played well. Our subs came in and gave us great minutes. And we handled their pressure, and that was key, and we came away with a great win. Went back in the locker room, and the kids are obviously all excited. And I know I heard this last night with I think Fairleigh Dickinson, but we shocked the world down there, I think.
Yes, you did.
Because I'm not sure everybody gave us a chance to
they
win
did
that
not.
ball game.
If you was in the stands beside me and heard what some of these other coaches said, they did not.
Right.
They said they're going to get ran out the gym. I said, you might want to sit here and watch this.
Right. And again, kudos to the kids, to the staff for putting things, watched a lot of film. Film can't tell you speed, can't tell you height, which is unfortunate, but we got to fix that. But, they came in with the mentality, I would just go play hard. And we did. And that put us, I think, on the map. Then we played at Highland Springs and played a real good Edison team from Northern Virginia.
Yep.
And
Coach Lewis.
Coach Lewis, just a really nice lady. First time I'd ever met her.
Legendary.
And we came into it after a win against Freeman the night before, which we hadn't played. We didn't play well. So I was going to see how we did, and we started off the bat. Ava Johnson, our 6'1" center, blocked the first 2 shots. And you could see her head rising the whole time as far as, I got this. And she probably blocked 7 shots that day. We hit some shots, and we beat them by a decent margin. I saw Coach Lewis after the game, and she was just nice as she could be. And she said, I'm going to go home and look at the film and do everything you did, because she felt we played really well against them. So those were 2 really good wins, and we kept going. Got to the regional final, and against an LC Bird team. And LC Bird's one of those ones on film, you couldn't tell the height, you couldn't tell the speed, you couldn't tell the way they played so well together. And Chevette's a great coach, and they took it to us. They took it to Highland Springs the night before, and but they were playing their best basketball at the end there.
It's funny that you say this. I think Glen Allen, you guys are in a rare situation. I'm going to tell you why. We have this, I call it rival. You guys play Highland Springs back-to-back, and then you guys played in, well, it wasn't a regional championship, but you guys played LC Bird, 2 familiar teams that y'all were familiar with.
Right.
And I was like, man, and back-to-back years as Glen Allen, that's why I said, when y'all said earlier, well, you don't get much coverage. Well, you guys got a lot of coverage now, being in those big games and stuff and having the people packed out, whether they from one side or the other side. And you guys gave us 4 great games of now putting Glen Allen basketball on the map and letting people know that, hey, we got some other good teams out here. If you want to come further out to the West End and pay you $7 to $8 to come see us play, we're going to give you a show. So that was a great thing. But last year, you guys, I mean, maybe the score didn't say that, and I know some of the Bird people going to get me, but you guys took Bird out last year. I didn't expect that.
We expected to win the ball game.
I did.
Not you did?
No, I did not.
You're not on the pass list anymore then.
Oh, no.
Look, I just want to be honest. I didn't. I did.
I think a lot of people are that same way. And, you know, we looked at it and said, I think we can play with them.
And now 3 freshman girls.
Yeah, well, you know, it's one where this is where Sydney Worsham put her name on the map.
Okay. Yes.
Sydney Worsham's one of our guard. Might be the best defender I've ever coached. Just really, really, really smooth, quick, quiet as can be, and it just goes about her job. And she did a really, really nice job on Trinity Dale in that game. Trinity Dale was
regional player
of the year and well deserved. And Sydney held her to 8 points, and most of those were foul shots.
Yeah, it was.
Which I think, thank heavens, that threw them off their game a little bit because Trinity couldn't distribute like she normally did. So that helped us, and then we were fortunate enough to go to Highland Springs. Everybody goes, wait a minute, y'all the 1 seed, why are you going to Highland Springs? You know, but rotation basis, whatever.
VHSL, that's a problem.
So we go, and I've known Franklin for he might be as old as I am, and just terrific guy. And you know, we felt it was going to have to go through there anyway, and we came out and played again another really good game. We handled the pressure, and won pretty handily at that point. But Highland Springs had an off night, and which is good, but that helped. But I mean, they were a terrific team too. So.
Shout out to Coach Harris and their program. He's another Gene Atkins disciple as well. So, you know.
He doesn't dress as nice as Gene does.
No. You know, look, I could go with, I ain't gonna do that. But shout out to their program. They've been there. They had a share of the state championship a couple of years ago. So, what they did. But going to the state playoffs, with 3 freshman girls.
4.
Well, 4, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That usually don't happen.
It doesn't. You know, these kids, I mean, this year we had 9 girls returning, and all 9 of them played AAU last year. That doesn't happen often. No. You know, with other sports, with various other things, that doesn't happen often. So there's been a commitment on the girls' part here the past few years that has shown. I mean, that's helped us a lot. With going back to back, you know, going back to our playoff game last year with Briarwoods, you know, it was nip tuck. They were a good team. We felt we were a good team. They had beaten a couple of really good teams, which surprised us. But they came in here and won in overtime, and I kind of made a coaching error on the end there, but I learned from it. So that was the best thing.
We don't hear too often.
Well,
it's a coach admitting that he or she was at fault.
Now, we could have played better overall. We could have played better overall, but anyway, so we were hungry for this year, and again got on that roll. We won the first 19 games. Played Thomas Dale, who's loaded. They're big, they're quick, they're good. We didn't play well, and then they beat us. And
for that one too.
And that was hopefully a good lesson for us. You know, I had every coach that offered me good wishes, telling me, "Hey, it's good to lose one." Well, no, it's not. No, you know, it's not good to lose one. You don't want to have that happen. But again, losses are opportunities to learn. So.
Yeah, that Thomas Dale team was, you know, was pretty good. They got a couple guards over there that's pretty young. That's why I say our 804 is in good hands. But as you go through the season, man, this year, let me ask both of you a question. Getting to the state playoffs, and assistants, you guys can answer as well. Was it tougher losing this year after you had some experience last year, or was it tougher losing last year just by getting there and there was no expectations? Which one was tougher? I don't know if that's
This year.
this year.
This year was tougher. We felt that we had that opportunity to, as Coach Shepard said, go for the jewelry and go to the Siegel Center and play. And felt we had the team to do it, and we fell a little bit short. So that was the second bird loss was tougher than the first one. We were up for a period of time and kind of went in a zone there that didn't work for us, and it is what it is. But then of course Bird played Princess Anne pretty tough. But to me that was tougher than the year before. I mean, both of them were tough. Don't get me wrong, because it's the end of the year for some of these kids.
Yep.
And but you know, hopefully we can take that next step next year.
Anyone else want to answer those questions?
Answer this one.
I think for me it was this year. You know, we're always trying to get one step further, right? And we felt like we could. But it also felt like deja vu, right? We play Highland Springs again in the regional championship game. We lose. We go on the road. We put in our work. We put the game plan together. Didn't play the way we wanted to, and we got the same result. So I felt like this year was definitely harder than the first year, because I mean, I felt like last year we were playing with house money.
Right.
No one expected us to do anything.
No.
New coaching staff after COVID. But this year, being number one, getting to the finals again and losing to Springs, and then going on the road and losing again, it's just like, okay, we made it to the States, but we're talking all the time. What do we have to do to get to that next step? Because obviously the Siegel Center is the goal.
That's right.
And you gotta take the steps to get there. So we're talking every day about, like, what do we need to do next to get a little bit further than we did last year.
Yep, you guys made it up to the top seed this year, and like I said, I know it hurts, but again, now you guys have had y'all on the map now. That people didn't know, you know now. Coach Shepard, you want to answer?
Well, I have a unique perspective, because I've been fortunate enough to make it to the state finals in another sport 6 out of 7 years. So for me, it was tough coming from that perspective. Also coming over to get on the staff, I felt my role was to help make sure they remain positive and didn't doubt themselves. The staff, who I really love, I have additional brothers right here, basically, as well as the team, to make sure at this point it's about managing egos and personalities. And like you said, the Siegel Center is the goal. Yep. So next year and the years becoming, you know, I got the keys to the rooms, because I thankfully have been blessed to be in the Siegel Center. And on a serious note, we getting there, and we're not just gonna be glad to be happy to be there.
Right, because you have that happy to be, like you said, you're playing with house money, you know, so it's like, you know, but I tell you one thing, you guys have gained a fan in me with both boys, girls program. You guys will definitely have me at more games. I live far away, but hey, I could take 288 and get over here. It's no problem.
You're back on the pass list.
Yeah, but thank you, Coach. I appreciate that. You know, I was gonna reach around the coach, man, have to tap him and say, look, I need you to help me out. But yeah, going to Class 6 next year. What are your expectations? And I know you guys said that it's going to be a lot different, but with both your teams, you got fairly young teams. So what do we expect from Glen Allen going forward, both programs?
Well, so I've already done kind of, you know, I always look ahead. I'm always looking ahead, and he's always telling me just to live in the moment. But I'm looking ahead already, and, you know, I mean, I see teams like the names of Oscar Smith, you know, in Lansdowne, and, you know, they've got, you know, teams that are very successful. So of course I'm already doing, you know, like kind of like the chess match and seeing what we have versus what they have. But you know, we still have to play our regional games. You know, we'll still play, you know, like our Godwins and Freemans and deep runs, and then we'll just, you know, I think we're playing, you know, like a regional tournament at a different location versus a team we're not very familiar with. So not much has really changed to me. You know, I'm gonna try to keep it, you know, as normal as possible, but it's just a new opponent. You know, because I mean, we see. I think we. I mean, you can attest to this too. I think we play some of the best, you know, teams in the area every year. You know, and we play. I mean, we go to John Marshall and we play John Marshall, and we like in this past season, you know, when Harry Lee reached out to me and asked me if we wanted to, you know, jump into the Christmas tournament with Highland Springs, I didn't bat an eye. I said, yeah, let's do it. You know, and when we saw that we, you know, we're possibly going to go up against like just Manchester, which is a powerhouse in 6, I said, this is a great measuring stick.
That's right.
You know, and I'm always taking, you know, like any challenges from other teams as just measuring sticks of where we are, because at the end of the day, you know, we've only been open for 12 years, you know, and like relatively new, and just kind of etching ourselves in history and the map, and we'll see, you know, we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna ask one question before I get to Coach Brennan. Since you mentioned John Marshall, I'm going to go there. You played John Marshall. Yes. What was that experience like for you? Because we heard what the Radford coach said about what his experience was. Did you guys go into the game feeling like y'all won't go win?
Every year, and it's I mean, it's different from school to school,
right.
You know.
You're familiar with it.
Yeah. We always go into that game, and our kids are always kind of, you know, excited to play John Marshall, and I think they look at it as, hey, let's make it a game.
Right.
And I love that attitude. And I think that's why, you know, when they played Freeman, you know, they kept it within
They're within distance. I mean,
20 or 15 points.
Right.
And it was a packed house. And our kids were more excited, I think, just to play in front of a packed house. And, you know, when CBG was there, and I was sending that link out to my, like out of my friends and family. And, you know, we know what, you know, what John Marshall is.
Yeah, we
are. And, but it's always fun to prepare for them, you know, because we know what to expect, and our kids are excited. So that's all we can ask for is just to tell our kids it doesn't matter who we play. They're all 17 and 18-year-olds, you know, I mean, just like us, and we'll see what happens.
Coach Marshall,
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, we'd tell the guys, like, look, you're all of the same age. I'm not taking anything away from John Marshall. They're phenomenal talent, right? But at the end of the day, we're just playing a game we all love. And you go out there, we try to put together the best game plan we can with who we have, and, you know, we just go out there, and as soon as the ball's up in the air for a jump ball, then just go play. Just go have fun, right? Don't, you know, they were, I think they were #1 at the time when they had that small little window where they dropped down.
Yeah.
No,
we went there. Yeah, we went there.
And, you know, it's fun to play in that gym. It's the first time I've ever been in that gym, and it's smaller, and there's a packed crowd. And, I mean, I enjoyed the environment, you know. I thought the game, you know, it was great to see all that talent. I mean, we've been talking for years, and we talked a little bit earlier, that I don't think people actually give enough credit for how much talent is in this area for basketball. I mean, I keep calling us like a sleeper state when it comes to basketball talent, because no one's giving us credit for the talent that's here. And, you know, John Marshall is a testament to that, and they're a wonderful, you know, basketball program that's going out there, and they're playing whoever wants to play them. You know, I don't know what their scheduling is like. I'm sure they're reaching out to as many as possible, but they're not afraid to play. And I'm like, guys, you know, same age, let's just go play them, see what happens. We got our game plan, go out, have fun.
I love it. Coach Shepard?
I'll piggyback on what Matt and Ramey said. And at the end of the day, they high school students just like we are. They basketball players just like we are. They kids just like we are. On any given night, anybody can be beat. Anybody can be beat. So John Marshall, whoever, you know where to find us. Staples Mill, you know where to find us. Or either you come to us or we'll come to you.
I love it.
And we're not going back down.
Hey, I tried saying no bulletin board material.
He just gave me some.
Right.
So,
that is what it is.
Look, we got a long way to next year, so maybe they'll forget.
Right.
Shout out to Coach Ty White and his staff and those tremendous kids over there. Hopefully I can get an interview with them soon. You know, they won the state championship, so, you know, we definitely, you know, nice like them. We got a few more minutes. Coach?
Just to piggyback on what they said about playing John Marshall, I mean, you go in there planning to win.
Right.
Okay? But at the end of the day, you come home, you're a better basketball team.
Right.
Okay, you come in, you play hard, then you're a better basketball team to carry you on, carry into the season. Why not play them?
Right.
That's right.
Why not play them?
And see, for me, I know how I feel about it. Like, you guys have all been around for a long time. Have you ever seen anything like this John Marshall team as far as the talent-wise and all the buzz? Because it's really been, I have no problem with it because it's in our area. Yeah. So it ain't nowhere else, and not just like the other state. Boy, anybody can answer that question.
See, I'm old enough that I'm a Benedictine boy. Benedictine one year was 30-1, and Petersburg had Moses Malone. And they were trying to get that game together at the end of the year, and it just didn't work out. But you took those two teams, and it was pretty similar. I mean, they were all that, and I mean, Benedictine went on and played in a national level game at some point. So, it's been there. So, but I'm sorry.
I think the closest thing for me is just it's not around here, but the Times Dispatch tournaments early on, if you remember. Oak Hill used to come up
all the time.
And those teams, I mean, people would be in the Siegel Center 2 or 3 games before that one just to see that kind of talent.
Yep.
And the fact that we have that kind of program right here in Richmond is a testament to what they're doing over there.
Yep, that's what I say. I totally agree. So I have no problem with it. As long as it's here, I'm good with it. So that's a great answer.
And I'll kind of piggyback off the team we were talking about was the 2017 was a Trinity team.
Oh,
you know, and they, I mean, we went and watched them a lot because of Armando, being from Rolfe. That team was special. That team, I mean, I'd put them up there with them, because they got a ton of buzz. I remember we went to, what was it, the
Coaches for the Cure.
Yeah, the Coaches for the Cure, downtown in Arthur Ashe, and they played just John Marshall that night. It was Isaiah Todd versus Armando, and it was packed there like. Then, so it's, I mean, we've always kind of had, a team in this area that's kind of had that buzz, but not, not the respect of the ranking, as just with Max perhaps. But yeah, I love it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for shouting us out. But yeah, I'm just happy, I'm glad that, like I said, that the team is in that area. So shout out to John Marshall and good luck to them the rest of the way and what they're going to be doing in that national tournament, playing for, national championship. Anything else you guys want to go over? All I want to say is congratulations to y'all seasons. Y'all had great seasons. Me first, that's what I want to say to you guys, and thank y'all for letting me come here to do this because I didn't think I was going to be here at the beginning of the season. So the fact that you guys have done what y'all earned this, and this is what it's all about. You earn it, you get a spot on BallinVA. So you guys, anything you guys want to add before we sign out?
Well, thanks for being here.
That's
That's important to us and our girls in our program to be noticed and considered to be at a top level. Again, we've got kids coming back that hopefully we'll keep on being special. And Hungry Creek's got some kids coming through, and Holman and all that. So I mean, we look to be hopefully back in these microphones at another time. So
definitely. The next time what we're gonna get y'all to do, y'all gonna come on out to the studios, to the Morrisette Media Studios. Hopefully, like I said, you come on over there, you guys get a nice bottle of water or whatever we have in those glasses. Not sure what they are, but, but no, I enjoyed this and I really appreciate you guys following the program because I don't know who watches. So, people say, oh yeah, I watch it. I'm like, okay. But I really appreciate it, man. I'm a fan. I definitely will be in the stands this year, definitely at Glen Allen, just not at a visitor site. But I think what you guys did of going out there and putting your best foot forward in these 2 tournaments out of town, giving us 804 representation, letting them know that, hey, we got some talent here. So hopefully this time that you guys will be on the winning side of it, and we host the game here so we can see who you guys play. Perfect. Not a shout out, not just to Highland Springs, but you guys got some good ballers over here, man. Some big guys too.
Yes, we do, and that's
trees.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I don't think we get a lot of credit for is we've got a lot of kids who play 2 and 3 sports, right? Over here, but we're starting to get kind of that movement of like the basketball kid who wants to play basketball more, so that's huge. That's really how you start a program. So,
You're right about that. So I'm going to end it on that note, man. You couldn't say it any better. What we're going to do is we're going to sign off. But before we sign off, again, I want to say thank everybody for watching Ballin VA on Morrisette Media. We need you guys to subscribe. We need you guys to comment, and like. Get these likes up. You know, I'm going to say that. And my man, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, get them likes up. Get those likes up. We definitely need that. But I appreciate everybody for watching. And we're going to just end it on that note. And we want to just say thanks again to Glen Allen, you know, Henrico County for allowing us to come in here. The coaches allowing us to come in here, Glen Allen Gym. This is the first of many. And I'm going to say we are out. I appreciate y'all watching the episode again today, y'all. You know, go over, make sure that y'all check out my man, rickstockel.com for any of your home buying needs. Appreciate it. Thanks again.